Good evening. How are you? Well, I spent time working today and I appeared on Ari's show. It consumed the day and I got back in the dark, but it didn't matter anyhow. It's raining cats and dogs and pigs and goats and horses. So I have a couple of observations in addition to what I said online on Ari's show tonight. It is that when we look at what the administration does, we should keep in mind that they lie about facts and law today as much as they did when they were trying to convince all those different federal courthouses that there had been fraud in the election. And not one of those cases stood up. And they're doing the same thing now, but this time what they're doing is they're taking the instruments of government, misrepresenting what they do, and seizing upon the leverage that they can get by claiming they can do things with these levers that the levers don't permit. And so the two obvious tools that are being used now to normalize and condition us to think that this is okay is they take habeas corpus, which in Latin, there are different translations, but you have the body. One says you should have the body. I don't think that makes sense to me. But and the notion was, going back to Old England, was that this kind of a petition, habeas corpus, would draw into question why somebody held someone else in custody. And that's traveled down all the years to here, and we have our own version to some extent. First of all, the habeas corpus is found in the Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution. There's several significances with these numbers. Article 1 are the powers of the Congress. And Article 1 in the powers of the Congress says, under certain circumstances, rebellion and so forth, habeas corpus can be suspended. The White House has been saying, oh, we're thinking about suspending. The truth is they cannot think about it. They can think about it, but they can't do it. Congress has to do it. And as I said on the air with Ari this evening, the question is, what kind of courage do our people have to do what is right and just, constitutional and appropriate to the situations that exist? There is no rebellion. There's no invasion. There's no cause to have any suspension of habeas corpus. But the Congress would have to do it. I would expect, I've been disappointed before, the Democrats would stand against suspending habeas corpus. The question is, what would the Republicans do? I would have some hope from the Senate. I think the delay in this happening is pending on two occasions, two things happening. One is that there is enough pushback that they start complaining and characterizing protest as misconduct, as riot or something. And then the second thing they have to do is to go to Congress and lean on them to approve it. Now, one of the principal things that is mentioned when somebody invokes habeas corpus, say one of those migrants who was taken out of the country and sent down to El Salvador and is there at risk of being captive for their very life. And what we look for is we say, did you choose the right person? Do you have a right to take them? Are you sure that they're an immigrant? Do you think they're illegal? Is there an order? Did you do something as a matter of course that did not justify you seizing them and moving them to El Salvador? Have you violated a court order? Now, this could come under the rubric of due process. We see it particularly in the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution. And there are a couple of things to mention about that. Due process is, I, the government, say you did something. The person gets a chance to respond, has a hearing, and rebuts the accusation that they should be subject to custody and to other things. That's one thing that's going on. Now, the government is saying, no, they're not entitled to due process. And they just roll past that. The other elements of reasons why we should be concerned about a person in custody is this cruel and unusual punishment? America has decided to send these people to a prison that we know is terrible. What about the right to counsel? Don't they have a right to counsel to fight this? Do they have a right to an interpreter? because they may need one depending on who the counsel is. Is this also a violation because a person should have a First Amendment right of access to the government? And do the post-Civil War amendments, I'm thinking particularly of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, which basically says if you're wearing badges of slavery, that your rights are being violated. And this didn't just mean the slavery that was at issue during the Civil War. So we have two, it seems to me, wings that we should be concerned about. There's more, but the two wings are: one, can you suspend a habeas corpus? I say no, and if the Congress does it, I think we could even go into court and refute it, because I don't think the precondition for them acting when the White House can't. Secondly, these itemized defects in any custody should be raised and should be pushed forward with all deliberate speed, and deliberate in this case is it's past due. So those were a couple of areas that I emphasized a little bit with Ari, and we did have a chance to go over a few things, and I look forward to more opportunities in the future to do so. So for this evening, I can't say goodnight to you among the trees, but I have a lot of books that were made out of trees. All the best. Bye-bye.